So today we're in the second port of the cruise, Agadir in Morocco, and I probably won't be getting off today. It's only a morning call, so we're sailing at 1 o'clock, so not much time to do anything really. And I've been to Morocco a few times, and so it's not like I'm missing out on anything really. So I'm just going to stay on board and make the most of an empty ship with no passengers, which is really cool. As you can see, the lighting's still a little bit poor, and that's because the porthole's still closed. So I'm not going to touch it just in case it needs to, in case we're going to be in a storm again tonight. It was force 9 yesterday, so it was ship was moving around quite a bit. And apparently we had a storm coming in from that side, so they closed all the portholes on this side, so the thing doesn't get smashed in. Gig went well last night. I don't think we've repeated any tunes yet. We just keep playing fresh stuff all the time, so it's always a fresh read. There's a whole host of different parts. I'm reading proper bass clef parts, there's lead sheets, there's piano scores, there's a whole host of different things that have been, you know, dragged into the pad from various different places. So it's quite challenging sometimes because sometimes some of them might be photocopied and then digitized, and the photocopy you don't get the whole of the part on, so sometimes you just have to kind of work out what some of the notes are going to be based on how the harmony changes. But these are the kind of things that you have to deal with on these gigs. I was talking to the pianist yesterday about these type of gigs and how deceptive they can be, how they can seem like they'd be like a really simple gig, but they can be quite tricky because of the nature of some of the parts. Like if anybody was to come on board here, any musicians came on board and watched what we do on a night, you'd think, oh well, that's an easy gig, I could do that easy. And then you're given the parts to read, and you know, playing in a band with nobody you've met before and having to sometimes come up with an arrangement on the fly, and it's not difficult, but it's more demanding than you would think. I was talking to him about when I was at music college, my bass teacher there, he used to bring in bass parts for us to read that he just scrawled out that morning, you know, just in pencil, and they were just a mess. And at the time I used to think it was just bad preparation, and I was thinking, oh, I can't even read this. And in fact, it was actually really good practice, because it prepared me for the reality that you know, you don't always get really well written parts, you know, all done in Sibelius, you know, like beautifully written and beautifully bound, 4 staves on a line, you know, that kind of thing. The reality is that, you know, on a gig you might be given absolutely anything, you know, it just could absolute scrawl, and a lot of the gig is deciphering what you've got there. So yeah, today I think I'm just going to have a walk around the ship. I mean, I don't think it's going to be particularly warm out there, but if it is, you never know. I might even get some sunbathing done. I'm also going to go to the gym at some point today, so I'll do a little bit of filming in there so you can see what the gym's like. It's quite a small gym on here. On some of the bigger ships you'll have these huge sprawling gyms with tons and tons of equipment, but on here it's a fairly small gym, but that's alright, because a lot of the people on board here ain't going to be going to the gym, so it's always pretty empty. A couple of days ago I went up there and I was the only person in there, so that was quite cool. It was just at sail away, so I was just, you know, on the step and the elliptical, just watching us sail out. And the best thing about today is the slop chest arrived, so I finally got some water. So the cool thing is that when you're on one of the treadmills, you get a nice view. So depending on what port you're in, obviously, I mean, that's not the most enthralling view, is it? This is the observatory lounge. So this is right up at the front of the ship, up at the top deck. You get nice views. You can have a drink, and a bit of a dance floor there, which never gets used. Generally have piano entertainers up here. I think they're doing a little bit of maintenance.